It's a Midwest thing, y'all. They ain't got a clue. Why my cutlass blue? And I got them things on that motherfucker too.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Midwest Mouthful. Got myself, Ryan Tierney.
And I'm Jeremy Phillips.
And we're going to go right at it. NFL playoffs.
Playoffs, huh?
0-6. That's my picks.
You are the best picker ever.
0-6, man.
Hey, well.
I mean, everything I say is like, I say it's a play or two this way or, you know, that from going the other way, but obviously it's always been a play or two the other way.
Right.
Because I can't pick it right.
Hey, I'm not much better, so I think I've only gotten 2 picks right.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Since we've done it now, I think we've made 6. You've been here, what? So you're 2-4. What are you rocking over there, Dave? Something?
I think I'm 500. Maybe
3-3,
one game above,
2-4,
something like
something. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to dig back on that one for a minute.
Tapes.
Yeah.
Stafford's been saving me the entire preseason.
Speaking of that, can Stafford deliver?
I don't know. It's hard to pick either one of these teams at this point.
Well, here's what I see from it. I see the Rams as they have an attitude of something to prove. You got Matthew Stafford, who sat for all them seasons in Detroit, never won a playoff game, couldn't really get there on a consistent basis.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you had OBJ, kind of the same situation in his career. You know, you got Von Miller, who went from winning the Super Bowl to being in a rebuild, being there. And then you got these young Bengals who are playing with some hunger.
Yeah.
They have a hunger to prove they belong, not only in the AFC North, but the NFL right now.
Not just the skill players. That's what I was saying.
Yeah,
that Cincinnati defense dominated.
I'm telling you,
second half. The adjustments, the drop 3 with the spy. It was clever. I wanted him to blitz more. I probably would have lost. Kudos to Zach for doing that. Like I said, I'm going to have to bite my tongue sometimes about him now. I've been so hard on him. It's like, what are you going to do now?
Yeah.
He's made a Super Bowl. It's time to just shut up and sit down. Let the man do his thing. He's a young dude, and he's going to figure out he's probably only going to get better. I'm probably going to look like an idiot the farther it goes along, so I might as well just flip, do a 180 real quick and go the other way about it anymore, because it's going to be hard to go against him at this point. He's got a good core, and he's got some good things going on. Oh, yeah, Dave. Getting in there, bro. He's always getting in work, man. They love him. Is Cincy on to something special if they were to pull it off?
Man, it's a tough one, but I would say yeah.
I mean, I define special as 3 AFC champ. Even what the Chiefs have done now, it's special.
Yeah.
It's special. Even that 3 AFC championships or 2 Super Bowls or so anything that you can do like that, I find that as special now. I'm not talking dynasty. That's Patriots. That's taking off. That's doing.
But whenever you can make it that far in the playoffs repeatedly, who's going to call you a bad team?
Yeah. Well, I get it, but the Eagles did it for those years, and nobody talks about them or gives them those respect. Some of your Viking teams did it with Culpepper and them for a few years, had good runs. Nobody gives them enough respect. It's like you're forgotten unless you get the ring.
Right.
It really is.
Nobody remembers the loser.
Yeah, it is. Andy Reid's adjustments. Whew. Stubbornness.
I think it was more complacency on the whole, not just the coaching staff of Kansas City, but even the players. They got up early on the Bengals, and then they just kind of said, okay.
But they didn't make that final adjustment.
No.
You should have been waiting on that adjustment to happen and then do nothing. They didn't worry about. They're like, fuck it, we're just going to do what we do then, and we'll figure it out. We'll still be enough.
That's where the complacency came in. Yeah, it cost them the game.
Play before halftime, yeah.
I don't know if it was as much.
Yeah, you take your points right there, man.
It was adjustments and momentum with Cincinnati. That
they
stop
did grab
was
huge. Mm-hmm. What about Jimmy G now in the other game? What do we do now with him, man?
I think he's gone.
Yeah, I mean, reports are out that the 49ers are going to help him find the right fit. They both know that it's time to go their separate ways. 49ers obviously are ready to go with Trey Lance at quarterback. So I just maybe kind of hope that San Francisco does what they say and they actually do help him find a good spot that can work with them.
All of us were here last week. We saw how Taylor, he defended him for a little bit at first, and then by the end of the game, he was just like, I'm ready to move on.
Yeah.
Barker was been ready to move on. Those guys are 2 49er guys, and
the rolling joke through that whole game was that, Jimmy G's a good quarterback.
Yeah, and there's just things that he's missing, and then you got to have that clutch gene. You got to deliver, man.
Decision making is questionable at best, and it gets worse when he's under pressure.
Yeah. Who you got?
Ooh, man. Super Bowl, who do I got? I'm going to take the Bengals.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bengals.
I'm going to go Rams 28-24. I'm going to say this again. I'm not doing this to try to be right or anything the other way about it either, because I am a Bengals guy and I do want them to win. I'm just saying, excuse me, it's hard to convince me that the Bengals have the better roster. That's why I picked them up against them until now. Why would I change it? Is the luck going to run out? I mean, that's how I feel as a fan as well. So I'm going to say that the Rams make another play, and Stafford, gets to cement part of his legacy as something that actually matters, other than just being left to forgotten in Detroit like Barry and Calvin. So it's a big deal. I think the Rams are able to pull it off. Like I said, in a close one, I think Joey B will get the ball at the end, but he won't be enough time. There'll be 20-some seconds, 30 seconds. He won't have enough. He won't have enough to make the difference. He'll need another minute or two. That's how I'm going to say it goes out. Hopefully I'm wrong again, and we'll be back, and I'm 0 for 7. So, Dave?
I picked Stafford throughout the whole playoffs, but the more stuff that I look at this week, something tells me to pick the Bengals.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and pick the Bengals, but I think it's going to be. I think it's going to win. They're going to win by a field goal. It's going to be.
Yeah.
This game might go to overtime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that this playoffs has made what's the kicker, McPherson?
Yeah. Money Mac
has made him a legend so far in Cincy. I think this game solidifies his legend.
Yeah.
And he's just going to get the key to the city after winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they're always tweeting, this is why you draft a kicker. And, they were the only team that did last year. And, yeah, Money Mac's been on. They wouldn't be there with him, without him right now. They definitely needed him.
Something just screams 0-1 Patriots about this Bengals team, and I don't know why.
Yeah, there's
Except
something
they have
like that.
a better quarterback at that time.
Mm-hmm. Well, somebody that you spent more investment on and that we kind of knew about, Brady kind of came out of nowhere on us. We knew about Burrow, but Burrow's delivered. Yeah. What we knew about him was comparable to like a Drew or a Tom or somebody like that. Right. Like not the hugest arm, just smart as shit, knows how to manage a game, knows how to win, knows how to feel, knows how to read a defense, knows how to do what it takes to win games. It isn't always about 30 or 40 or 50 yards, but when he can take advantage of those games, he's going to have fun and do it because he's a G.
There's just something about him that gives him a certain feel to the game.
Well, Twitter people
finds out what to do.
Twitter people are attacking him. Oh, he's only got 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and 2 in the last 2 games. And I'm just like, that's what I'm talking about. He knows how to manage wins, and he knows how to be the guy that can throw for 400. He can do it both.
Counts.
Yes. He's figuring out ways to win, and at such a young age, that's scary for the league, for a guy to be able to dictate it.
And as a Browns fan, I'm not looking forward to that for the next 10 years.
No.
At least.
Especially pairing him with Jamar Chase, who you could have for the next 15 years.
Like, if you really watch that show called, Detail by Peyton Manning, I mean, you start learning different things that if you didn't know already,
right,
that entails with the quarterback position. It's different. It's different. You got to be different, bro, to be good there. You can't just be average, accept average, or be lazy when it comes to preparation. You got to want to be the baddest. That's why guys like Luck, we gave him a hard time for leaving early, this and that. To an extent we did, but we understood, man. You got to want it. You got to be 100% in. You got to want to be prepared, and you got to have the beast in you. If it ain't in you, then sometimes you just got to hang it up.
Yeah.
On to the NCAA portal, recruiting right now. Caleb Williams to USC, confirmed.
Yeah, I mean, wasn't it? We were just talking a couple days ago with all the connections he had at Wisconsin. We almost kind of thought that it was a no-brainer to Wisconsin.
It seemed, I don't know, my one buddy Diggs told me it was all set up just to drive up the price, and that's the way it's looking right now.
Maybe
Whiskey got played. They had everything falling in their favor at the last moment.
Yeah, they did.
Only for Caleb just to say, nah, I'm going to go out here still with Riley. Speaking of Riley, I know you got something on him.
Yeah, I mean, come on, his comments about putting guardrails in place and knowing when the transfer portal can happen, that way coaches and players can be on the same page. Like, bro, really? I mean, really.
The guy that stacked his whole class with it now wants to, hey, let's chill out now, guys.
Well, yeah, and while we're talking about, coaches wanting to run their mouth in the transfer portal, how about Lane Kiffin's comments about everyone has a different salary cap?
I love it.
And maybe they should implement a luxury tax on Texas and Texas A&M.
I love it. It's the truth. It's the truth. Jimbo got so upset, and you could tell.
Oh, yeah,
when
Jimbo
he was upset and was blazing him, it was because I've done this too. You get defensive. Somebody talks about your kid or something. Everybody have somebody. You have children. Somebody talk about your kid. You don't know it, but secretively you're defensive, or your mom or whatever. You're defensive about that, and that's how Jimbo defended that. So I love that he loves A&M like that, but he was defensive about it because you kind of know that person's right, and that's why you're a little upset and defensive. It's because he knows. When you go back and look at some of the classes, man, that they had, it's crazy what I had up right here. I'm going to find it for you guys right here. They have the number 1 wide receiver in Texas, DL in Florida, cornerback in Texas, D lineman in Tennessee, number 1 D-line in Arizona, safety in Louisiana, DN in Pennsylvania, number 1 safety in Georgia, tight end in Texas, tight end in Georgia, running back Louisiana, tight end in Sweden, and we won't forget you, number 1 in Texas, safety. They have all them. So it's kind of hard to not want to be hard on the guy when in 18 he had 0 5-stars, Jimbo at A&M, 19 he had 2, 20 he had 2, 21 he had 1. Now this new NIL, he's got 7. But he wants to get like that because he's defensive. He knows.
Oh yeah.
The money's buying it. It's obvious. You can get upset all you want, but Jimbo. But the proof's in the pudding, man. We're not mad about it, but quit hiding from it.
Yeah, stop hiding. It's legal now, man.
Yep. Just embrace it and say, hey, either get with it or get left behind. We know you're going to be around, obviously, with that talent.
Yeah.
I, as a Notre Dame fan, I think we got him in 23, 24, I think it is, or 24, 25. And that's right around when these guys will be juniors and stuff. It should be fun.
Still be
Talk about a
senior because of the
stacked A&M team.
Yeah. Speaking of more transfer portal news, we got Sevyn Banks, cornerback from Ohio State, put his name in the transfer portal.
Yeah.
He did not say he would not come back to Ohio State. He said it's still an option, but he is looking at all his possibilities right now.
Yeah.
So wherever he goes, hey, wish him the best. And then also there's running back Jordan James flipped from Georgia to Oregon. No.
Oh, I saw him. Notre Dame was interested in him as well.
Yeah.
He definitely opened things up. But then the 3-star Paul out of Texas blew up late on the scene right now, and everybody was after him, and he just went to Georgia, so that makes sense. They just lose one, replace another.
And then with died going to USC, that kind of
maybe that opened up.
Yeah.
Maybe that opened up some things.
Did the dancing video with Brian Kelly going to Alabama.
Yeah, bro. I mean,
that ain't gonna win it. That ain't gonna win it for you.
Yeah, I mean,
it was nice and stuff. I know it was only 3-star tight end, but he was very coveted towards the end. If Bama and LSU want you, you're nice.
Yeah.
I don't think it had to do with that video. I just think in the end the kid wants to go to. But it definitely makes it hilarious.
Oh, real hilarious.
Kelly's in there getting it in and still getting denied. Ole Miss, man. Shout out to them on the way they handled in the portal. I know Lane was talking about the salary caps and things, but his can't be that horrible.
Right.
A&M was just getting recruits and probably paying $1 million a piece. I don't know what he's paying some of these transfers, but he's got 5-star QB, 4-star tight end, 4-star running back, 4-star tight end, 4-star O-tackle, 4-star linebacker, 4-star DB, high 3-star DB, wide receiver, and offensive tackles, all coming in the transfer portal. So, Lane, you guys must be doing all right. I get it. You're frustrated. A&M's got their pockets opened a little bit more. We got to fix some things up, or we got to get used to it.
Yeah, exactly.
People got to get with it or get left behind until they put a cap on this thing. Like I said, if it was me and I was an SMU booster, I'd buy back my program for all the hurt they did to me in the 80s right now.
Sure.
Because you can do it and get away with it.
Yes.
Right away you can.
Yeah, you can definitely do it now.
What else we got here? Harold Perkins predicted him to LSU. He did flip to LSU. said, I'm coming home. I'm telling you, I knew it was number 4 player in the country.
Yep, I forgot about
so,
him.
yep,
Yeah.
he did decommit from Texas A&M, so they did take a loss there. I wonder if the check bounced.
His NIL wasn't enough for him.
He said, hold up. He was trying to drive up that price, too. Him and Caleb Williams got the same agents. Coaching changes, NCAA. I'm going to just go with Harbaugh staying put. For how long?
Yeah, Harbaugh, your comment about the Vikings was your last NFL interview.
Sure, Jimmy.
Yeah, I'm not buying it. Maybe from what I'm hearing, he went in there with the attitude that the job was his, and he interviewed like that. Maybe that's what turned him off. Who knows?
I'm sure he'll stay for a few years now.
Yeah.
But you can't tell me that if the right place doesn't arise again for him, that he hasn't shown that there still be interest. He's got an itch to go back. He wouldn't have done
He
this.
showed he's got the itch by doing that. If he didn't, he wouldn't have took the interview.
Exactly.
And I mean, he'd been telling recruits for over a month now that he was interested in the NFL and didn't know if he was returning. And then
kudos to him for being honest to some of the kids.
Exactly.
For sure.
But my thing is, you interview on National Signing Day? Like, come on.
Yeah, I get it.
Didn't make no sense
It
to
does
me.
seem kind of like he put it on to see what would happen.
Yeah. Maybe it was more for show, you think?
Yeah. ND hires running back, tight end coach, Dylan McCullen. The big thing is whether his kids, top 100 recruits, are going to flip from Indiana to Notre Dame. I don't know. As of now, they're not going to. But I think if something goes south, the middle one will dip and end up at ND in a year with the transfer portal, and the young one could end up following too. It could definitely happen. The other guy we got at ND, the tight ends coach, Gerald Parker. He was a co-offensive coordinator at West Virginia last year. I guess they didn't like the way things went. They're bringing in that Graham Harrell from the OC from USC.
Okay.
And so he kind of was getting demoted. So I think he just was kind of like a big middle finger. I'll just go be tight ends coach at Notre Dame. Since
yeah.
Just got the
exactly.
The OC
a little bit more prestigious school, same title.
The chance
a bump in pay.
to coach Michael Mayer for a year. I think I'll sign up for that. That
yeah,
made
me
my
too.
job real easy, at least.
Yes.
With him, I can already start focusing on tight end 2, 3, 4, etc. So many changes at big programs this year.
Yeah,
man. It's exciting. That's what I just wanted to note that. Like there was a lot of schools with some turnover.
Yeah.
And guys moving around.
Rutgers hired a new new linebackers coach too.
Did they?
Yeah. Corey Heatherman. He was the defense coordinator at James Madison.
Yeah.
So.
And what was that Jordan dude we saw the other day? The Ohio State, is he an analyst or something?
Yeah, he's like
Devin Jordan or something. I think. Is
yeah,
what it was.
Devin Jordan. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
He used to be he was a receiver there back in the early 2000s. So
I'm excited to see what Notre Dame does with the D coordinator position. I think it's Al Golden, the linebackers coach of the Bengals. I think that's why it's been
could be
getting held up a little bit. I think it's pretty much been made. I don't. That's my feel for it. I don't have any inside source. I'm not that guy. This is just strictly an opinion that I have. Who's going to be the new Clemson? Is it going to be A&M now, or are they just going to bounce up in like a Clemson type role and maybe take a title or two over the next 5 years? Like, who's the school that could do that right now? Is Georgia going to win another one in the next 2 years?
The next Clemson type, honestly, could probably be USC.
Yeah,
I agree. And here's why I think
Don't
that.
Disagree.
USC almost has an easier shot to make it there versus A&M and Georgia. A&M and Georgia got to run that SEC gauntlet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right there. Clemson and USC have a lot of similarities because
Pac-12 don't have a whole lot of those good, tough teams.
USC will still have Oregon and Notre Dame, though.
Yes,
we'll see.
They will.
I believe in that. What is it, Dan Lemning or something is his name, that went out to Oregon. He's D coordinator at Georgia. He knows what a good defense is supposed to look like.
That he does.
They usually don't have trouble. I can't. If you can grab your phone, even Dave, look up and see who the offensive coordinator is at Oregon this year. I'd just be interested to see who they went there to team up with him. You know, because it's like Freeman at Notre Dame's got Reese, and he's letting Reese make a lot of decisions. I would figure that dude would do it in a similar fashion and grab a guy. Over to the NFL, Jeremy, what you got on some NFL coaching changes?
Some NFL coaching changes. Hey, so I know in the last episode we were talking about the Bears and how they hired Matt Uberfluss as their new head coach, and I had mentioned there were some rumors about they think he might possibly ruin Justin Fields because he's a defensive-minded coach. Well, they went out and signed Luke Getsy as their new offensive coordinator. Now, Luke Getsy was the Packers quarterback coach, and he's the one that helped Aaron Rodgers better understand the RPO.
Yeah, Getsy. I feel like I've heard his name in college back in the day as a quarterback.
Here's the thing. Green Bay's offensive staff got gutted. You got Nathaniel Hackett, who was Packers OC last year. We all know took the OC or the head coaching job at the Broncos, and he took Justin Alton with him from Green Bay. Alton was the Packers tight end coach, and now he's the offensive coordinator in Denver.
Yeah.
We all know about the Raiders taking Josh McDaniel and Dave Ziegler. They just also took Sean Desai for the defensive coordinator job. It was the Bears' former defensive coordinator. Vikings are going to go ahead and go with Kevin O'Connell over Jim Harbaugh. But of course, they can't really make that official till after the Super Bowl. Jaguars surprisingly hired Doug Peterson.
Yeah.
I was surprised at that one.
You did just cover the Rams, did you? The Rams OC. My bad. I'm sorry,
the Rams OC. Yeah.
The Vikings. How you feel about that, Dave? That Kevin, what's his name? Kevin O'Connell.
Kevin O'Connell. Not bad at the hire. It's an offensive mind.
That McVay tree it's going places.
Yeah, it's branching out like other good.
I think that O'Connell though might be more of the Shanahan tree because he also coached in Cleveland too, and I think he was in Cleveland with Shanahan.
That's not bad to be in any of these trees.
No, it's not.
When you're part of those, there's some pretty strong blood right there.
Yeah. How about the Bills promoting Ken Dorsey to offensive coordinator?
Oh yes, I did see that.
He was their quarterbacks coach last year, and with Dable leaving for the Giants.
I always call him Dable.
So we still got
Ken Dorsey was always a smart dude.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he could manage. That's why he had all that talent with him at the U. He just managed it. He wasn't like the biggest, strongest arm guy. He stayed in there.
We got 3 teams left, guys.
What's that? Texans, Jags, or Texans, Dolphins?
And Saints are the 3
okay.
the 3 left open.
I forgot about the Saints. Yeah,
Dolphins are actually interviewing Mike McDaniel today, who was the offense coordinator of the 49ers. And tomorrow they're going to interview Kellen Moore.
So is Bieniemy and Leftwich, they're just left out now?
I feel like the Brian Flores story is going to gain a lot more traction.
I'm like, are you guys just like, thanks for the...
Yeah, I don't get
thanks for the Rooney Rule. Thanks for satisfying that. Get you guys on your way.
I'm going to be honest here. I'm not...
It's ridiculous.
Knocking, but I think the Rooney Rule is crap.
No, I'm talking about it's ridiculous that Leftwich and Bieniemy are not...
Yes, it's totally...
Getting real...
Well, I also hear Leftwich withdrew his name from consideration from the Jaguars job. Which I don't blame him there because he didn't want to work with Trent Baalke.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But for the Texans and the Saints, or even the Dolphins not to interview him, man, I don't understand that. Same thing with Bieniemy.
Yeah.
I don't get this.
Bieniemy's been a hot name for the last, 5 years?
And still can't get a head coach job. Why?
I think this Flores story is going to pick up a lot more traction if none of these guys get hired.
Yeah, he's what he say, 100,000 to throw games.
Yeah, by Stephen Ross. All because Stephen Ross wanted Joe Burrow.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Because he even offered multiple. He offered multiple first-round picks to Cincinnati for the number 1 that year. Cincinnati said no because
he
they
saw
wanted Burrow.
it. Yeah, he saw it. He saw what we're all seeing now, or he had a good feeling about that, and he wanted to make it happen.
Yeah.
Any way possible. Let's not act like this doesn't happen before. Hugh Jackson come out and said he did it for less money. People are making fun of Adam Gass, saying they're paying people to do this because in the memes, because saying that he pretty much had to do it for the Jets. It's what sucks is when you get shafted, you don't get the chance to complete the whole mission. And it's not even nothing against Jackson or Cleveland. I know there's turmoil there, but there was so much turnover in the front offices and stuff. That's why other things were made with him too. Hugh was just never going to get a fair shake there. Cleveland was in different phases of things. He was that guy to bridge that gap. I mean,
but let's be real. At the same time, I'm also hearing that.
I know, but I think he was promised a little more.
I think he was too, but
I think that's why he got upset. But he shut his mouth. He didn't do the Brian Flores.
No,
thing. But now he came out and just said, "Well, I'm not going to let Flores just take all these bullets."
But here's why I think he came out. Because there's rumors out that when Flores started this class action lawsuit, he named a bunch of other minority head coaches and the one person he did not name was Hugh Jackson. So I think maybe Hugh Jackson might be a little upset he wasn't included in that and now wants to come out with something. But Jimmy Haslam just came out.
I love him for the Bengals. He was good as the
You
Raiders.
know what? I like the pick. I like the choice when they picked him. And I told you that. I told you when they got him, he had the most head coaching experience.
I'm not like head over heels. I think he's just this NFL coach. I just think he got the raw deal in Cleveland, and now, add him to Flores, he's never going to get a job, and he's probably saying because he wasn't going to anyway.
Yeah, because they were just interviewing him for the Rooney Rule, and he was never really getting the job, which was,
Well, it's BS, like you said.
It is.
Just quit flying these guys in. It's a disrespect to them.
It really is.
It is, man. Just hire the people who you want to hire. It's a shame if you're not giving young black men shots at jobs anyway. Because
how long has Tomlin been a coach?
I'd be interviewing a wide variety of guys, man. I want a whole different personalities. I want to see from every angle. Young, old, white, black, whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm just trying to see new things. If I am a GM somewhere, I'm trying to find things. Now, the problem with some of these guys as GMs, they already have it hell-bent on how they want things to be, so they only want to look at certain things this way. Man, not being open-minded in this world about anything, whether it's sports, anything, I just think you're setting yourself up for not truly maximizing potential.
And to Dave, to answer your question, Mike Tomlin's been the head coach of the Steelers since 2007.
Stud.
Yeah.
Your offensive coordinator for Oregon is Kenny Dillingham.
Kenny Dillingham.
He was the offensive coordinator for Florida for the last year and a half or so, and then Auburn before that.
Okay.
Before that, so he knows how to run at some big football factories.
Okay, so we
he's bringing SEC.
Yes.
SEC defense, SEC offensive minds to the Pac-12. And I think they can rival with the USC over there. I think that's a really good. I think USC can stack more talent than them, but I don't think it's by, crazy leaps and bounds. I think you can only put 22 on the field, and Oregon's still going to have enough to be able to compete in those games. And I still think they're ahead of USC slightly right now, even with Thibodeau and a few other guys. I still think they're just slightly better than USC in the trenches still for another year or two. That's how I feel about Notre Dame against SC too. You can keep stacking all these. Cool, we're all right. We didn't. Yeah. It's a disadvantage for us not to get to use the portal. We need the way we need to, but we get a lot of young, good players that we can develop out of high school, and we ain't going anywhere. We develop in the trenches, so get used to us, Trojans. We ain't going anywhere. We can swing it over to draft profiles.
Before we head to the draft profiles.
Oh, okay. Why? What you got?
What's your guys' thoughts on the Daniel Snyder stuff going on right now?
I am new to this, so.
So he's got allegations of sexual misconduct.
Oh.
And they said one of his videographers said that Daniel Snyder was trying to have him make nude video outtakes from the cheerleaders in a photo shoot.
I mean, it's kind of been going on at a lot of places,
that's just
everywhere.
2009, like there's more coming up now.
Don't they understand there's a lot more to this whole John Gruden, this whole thing, like Robert Kraft with the Asian part? Like, come on, man. This stuff's been going on everywhere. You guys act like it. Some of these dudes, 50% of dudes, how many people you ever met in your life and you sat in a room with 10 people and 4 or 5 of them probably had some things they wasn't telling you.
The exact story is that.
Think it's any different with owners and people with money?
Well, this says former employees and cheerleaders from the Washington Commanders were on Capitol Hill Thursday, and they said that there's accusations of Dan Snyder asking staff to compile lewd video clips of cheerleaders without their knowledge or consent, and with unwanted sexual touching.
I mean, what am I going to say? Are you surprised? I mean, I'm not.
Dan Snyder's been controversial since
That's
he
what I'm
bought that
saying.
team. But this is like a whole different level.
But didn't they get something covered up in the Gruden where they didn't have to open the whole thing? And I'm telling you, that was going to expose him and a bunch of other people.
Emails were released in that whole thing, and it damaged Gruden. That's why Gruden's suing the NFL.
It's all about protecting people.
This is going to end up.
It's all about. We all know how things go on. Me and Jeremy ain't going to do that. That'd be a whole nother different type of pod. But we all know how things go down like that.
Yes, we do.
Covering for people. That big money, man.
And he gave control of the team to his wife, I believe.
Oh, this dude's
right now?
married too? Wow.
Yeah, like within the last 24 hours.
Oh, he knows then. That's why he gave over the control, so it can't be. I don't know. Are they divorcing? Is it his ex-wife?
No, it's his current wife. Like the story goes a bunch of different ways. Like
Dave's got us over here like TMZ today.
Oh,
You have to read.
I'm over here trying to read down
You
through
have
it a
to
little
read
bit.
really far into stuff to get even deeper, but the basis is that he's trying to cover up whatever they're accusing him of lewd videos. But I mean, this stuff has just been released in the last 2 days.
Yeah. Oof. We'll get into it more.
Yeah,
We'll probably read into it a little bit more,
Yeah.
and we'll follow it up. We'll definitely have a
I will
follow up
mention
on
this
it.
here real quick before we get off the subject. More than 40 former employees. 40. Wow.
Like if that story
That's
takes
just
up
not-
traction,
That's testifying over 40 former employees with 6 witnesses. Representing the 6 witnesses who testified, as well as more than 40 former employees. That the testimonies were an important first step in holding the Washington
Like I
football
said,
team.
are you surprised though?
No, I'm not.
Where there's smoke, there's fire usually, right?
Yeah.
I mean, generally speaking, until you get there and see what's really going on and know for yourself where there's smoke, there's fire. So, I think Snyder's always been a sketch. I think things caught up to him, and
But here's-
let's see if that money will get him out of this again. I don't know.
So
I know Washington people hate him. They don't want the Commanders. They make fun of that.
Right.
They just wanted to be the Redskins, man. They just wanted to be that. It wasn't about being disrespectful to anything. What are we going to do? Is the Chiefs or the Florida State Seminoles, are they next? The Guardians and them go down? What?
it took the Indians.
That's what I'm saying. Are the Chiefs next? Are Seminoles next? Where's it going to stop? Braves?
Well,
Where's it
they're
going to
saying
stop?
Redskins was a derogatory term, and so is Indians. I don't think they're using Chiefs as a derogatory
I have-
term yet. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's kind of-
Yeah, but I do believe the Redskins was based off of an actual person
Yeah.
who gave them consent to use
Yeah,
it.
I've never
you're trying to do a
once-
general population now versus saying just one person saying they can do that.
Yeah, I've never once said that in that type of way, and if I talk to people that really did bother them, then I understand the change. But it is probably a small majority to the big majority. Some people say it's just a name, get over it. I mean, I get it. I get it to an extent too, for sure. If you're not attached to something like that. But me as a traditionalist, the way that I kind of am, it definitely would bother me too. So I understand both sides for sure,
Yeah,
and I'm
me
not
too.
gonna smash anybody for being on that side. But me on mine, I'm gonna miss the Redskins things. I'm gonna miss seeing it.
There's a guy on the internet earlier, I think I was on Twitter,
Yeah.
that said they were trying to get less racist with changing the name to Commanders, but they have a black helmet with a W on it, trying to make it even more race baited.
I think the black helmet was a little overboard with them. I like
I don't
the
think they look that bad. I just think the name's stupid.
I like the W, the way the W looks on the red hat or the burgundy helmet. It looks kind of nice.
I don't know. I'm just.
I believe the black helmets are just for as an alternate.
Yeah, because the NFL's allowing in 2022, you can wear an alternate helmet now, one time a year. So, because Ryan's already been talking about, wouldn't it be so sweet if the Bengals had an all white helmet, to go with the all white jerseys? Well, guess what? Next
Would be
year, Ryan,
nice.
you get you're more likely going to get your wish.
Well, they're always selling those helmets.
They are.
And they're alternate ones, but we never see them in it. Now the possibility of that can take place because you see them in a lot of people's homes.
Exactly.
They'll have like the reverse of whatever. They'll have a white Vikings helmet, or a Browns that'll be like white with a brown stripe or something.
Hey,
different types.
let 'em
of
do
that.
one like
Cool
that.
black
I wouldn't be.
Vikings helmet a couple years ago. The concept that was sweet.
Yeah,
Now we'll be able to see that as a reality.
I think
So-
this is where some teams might get a little creative, knowing that the NFL is going to allow them to do it one game.
Can I ask that we don't turn into this
Like Oregon.
need a jersey every month type thing? Need a new helmet
Yeah.
every month? I'm not wanting that.
No,
I will
not
take
at all.
one or two times a year
two.
tops.
I will take an alternate and a throwback,
Yes.
and then whatever they already have. That's it. Three's tops.
They
Please
can even
don't do
two
more.
alternates, one home, one away.
If you want to hammer me on that, I guess there's no real logic behind my way. I just, other than the fact that I think too much is sometimes
throwing
too
around a lot of
much.
money.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need.
I just don't want like they try to do with the hoodies.
Yeah.
I don't want jerseys with the little crucial. I don't want camo jerseys. I don't want it getting
No.
that deep into it. I
No,
just want
me
it to
neither.
stay. Other than maybe one alternate a year, like a city edition with an alternate helmet or something. And then if you would like to do a throwback, that would be sweet.
Yeah, how sweet would that be if Cleveland had a alternate helmet that said the land on the side?
Yeah, nobody care. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah, whatever. What? Come on, man.
He said, huh?
Yeah.
He said,
You know,
Oh,
that'd
you
be
got
sweet.
LeBron coming to play too?
No, but I mean, that'd be kind of sweet to just have that there. Just have the word Cleveland there or something for one game.
Put the Cavs C on the side of the Browns helmet.
No.
Get it down.
I wouldn't mind putting the brownie elf on the helmet full time, but that's just me.
Yeah. I don't know about it full time, but definitely on one of them alternates be sweet.
Yeah.
Draft profiles, Brees Hall, we got to get into it. Iowa State, 6'1", 220. Anybody want to start us off? If not, I can.
Hey, you know what? He's a good north-south runner. He's got some pretty good vision. I noticed, watched some film on him, and just, like I said, watching game tape, he can bounce it outside when need to be. He's also not afraid of contact.
Mm-hmm.
He's a hard runner, explodes through the hole. The one knock on him is his route running and his pass protection are his weaknesses. But
Pass
then again,
protection.
dude, he only
Couldn't find a lot of film on the pass protection.
Me
thing.
neither, but he
That's why it would make
caught
sense
36
that.
passes he caught 36 passes this past year. So I mean,
Ding, ding, ding. Helena. Who you got on him, Dave?
He's got a lot of mileage.
Yeah, I did see
A
that.
lot of mileage. I mean, he did run for 2,100 yards last year and 29 touchdowns, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of carries. He's well put together. He's got a thick frame. He's patient, waits for his blocks to develop. He's more of a one-cut back. He's not really shifty,
Yeah.
but I mean, he's a bigger dude. He's 6'1", 220.
Yeah.
He's explosive. I don't think he's much of a power runner for as size as he is. He's a one-cut back, hits the hole, and then goes.
Yeah.
He's not your Nick Chubb that's going to go out and try to lay somebody out with their shoulder. I'm not going to say he shies from contact, but he doesn't look to make the contact.
no, I didn't really notice that either. I mean, if it's there, he approaches
And he's
it.
fast, but he's not quick.
I put good burst, good vision, lots of games, and like you said, under his belt, though, it's a good thing, but it's a bad thing sometimes for these running backs. Had 50 total TDs over his career. Solid hands, follows blockers well. He has a really good hezzy when he's out in the open. He just his hezzy's real nice. I'm intrigued to see his combine 40. The average running back, they say, over the last 10 years or so, this is not factual. I just heard of a roundabout like that is like 4.48 to 4.55 or something like that, around that area. So we'll see if he's in that or if he can get above that for that size. You already know it's instant. 713 yards after contact, 7th in 10-plus yard runs. 175 of his carries came out the zone blocking last year. Teams that have 74% or more of zone blocking in the NFL are Bears, Falcons, Dolphins, and 49ers. So consider them all good fits. I mean, other teams can still do it. They can still use zone. But I'm saying those guys, they live by the zone. So yes.
Falcons,
Bears, Dolphins, 49ers. I think
those
49ers might be all right. Dolphins, Falcons, and Bears, you never know. They could definitely be in the looking.
Yeah, you know what? Brees Hall would be a good compliment to Duke Johnson down there in Miami.
The knock on that is that does he have the home run speed that it takes? Is he a 30-yard runner that gasses out? I think he's a slower Jonathan Taylor, in my opinion. I think he bounces a little too much. That's my knock on.
One of the things that I looked at said he was recorded or expected to record at least a 4.39. I'm not sure if that's true, especially based on his size. But
If that is, that's Jonathan Taylor. That ain't a slower Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
That is Jonathan
Hey, they
Taylor.
said right here that he ran a 4.43 coming out of high school.
That's what I'm saying. So we'll see. He's a little bit bigger. He could have got stronger and faster for sure. I don't know. Maybe he got too big. We'll find out. That combine's going to be real fun. I'd like to see what he weighs in if he comes in at 6'1", 205 to see if he could get that number up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just at 6'1", 220, he's about the same size that Peterson was.
I'm just saying 208, 209,
Yeah.
maybe shed that 10 pounds to see if you can just shed that little, them little few seconds off there. We'll go right over to Isaiah Spiller. He's 6'1", 220. He's about the same, 215, right in that range. I'll start with him. Great cutback, solid hands, underrated hands, really. There was some stuff that took place with him that he really that really was impressive. Had a good burst. He played against good comp in the SEC. I compared him to Joe Mixon. I think he had that wiggle like it. He's not a burner, but he's got a good burst. Really good agility. Like, Mixon, he can break people down and has really great footwork. One cut to me as well. He had a good feeling for blocks for the most part. Every now and then he would get caught trying to do a little too much behind the blocks. And the knock was that he danced at times. He did have 100 forced missed tackles in the last 2 years. Second in the country. 63 runs of 10-plus yards. First the last 2 years. Second in Yak last year with 1,200 yards. Yak.
Man.
Yards after contact.
I've got him. He's got good vision. He's patient. Hits the holes hard.
Mm-hmm.
He is very agile for a big back, like you said. He's quick.
Yeah.
But he is strong, and he bounces off of contact because he gets his pad level low.
Mm-hmm.
I've got him not having elite speed for consistent long runs.
Yes.
But he's got enough burst to get there, but it's not going to be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
When he's out in the open, he does run tall and
Yeah.
stands up, makes him an easy target in the open field.
And
and ball security being an issue. He's had 8 fumbles over the last
that's where
2
that
years.
Mixon Peterson, that weird style, that's why I saw that. Now, you're never going to be Adrian Peterson to me, but that's why I said Joe Mixon now. Isaiah Spiller in the right offense with some pieces around there, for sure he could get those types of opportunities.
That ball security could be huge, though. It says he's got eight fumbles in 3 years.
That was Spiller?
Yeah.
Whew.
Man, that's crazy.
Oof, yeah, that's not good.
No,
It's a lot of balls put on the ground.
That's not good.
That is.
But it also could have to do with him being an easy target by running upright. Probably gets caught.
Yeah.
And hit the ball out.
That is too. The one thing that I saw also about him, Dave, was he has the potential, unlike Hall, they say will be similar from year 1 to year 3. Spiller has a little more growth in his game and in his body. So they're saying, year 3 could be a completely different back in the league. Kind of
He
like,
had fumble issues early and corrected it.
yeah, and it's that style, man. It's that style. I'm surprised Mixon hasn't, knock on some wood for me there. But you gotta get that one in. Shift over to Kenneth Walker. What you got on that first, Dave? We'll let him roll with Kenneth Walker.
He runs
What you got
angry.
next, Jeremy. Angry?
He runs angry. He runs through arm tackles.
Yeah.
It's almost like he wants the contact.
Yeah.
He has home run capability. Elusive. He has a decent change of direction. I think he needs work in the passing game, just catching and blocking, not just one or the other. He needs to work on both. He's got decent anticipation, but he was a workhorse in college. So I mean, there's a lot of good running backs that came out of Michigan State that didn't do a lot in the NFL. So I mean, it could be just a product of their offense against the defenses that they're facing too.
Well, that's some years ago. This is Tucker. It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
It's the Big Ten. We know he ran hard.
Yeah.
I
mean,
I just like the violent running. Like that just sounds like a running back that you just want to give the ball to. He's not a 3-down back, but he could be a 2-down back with somebody helping him out on 3rd down.
Exactly.
yeah, he's definitely not a 3-down back. I don't have him as a 3-down back. He lacks elite speed. The one thing he does have, though, is good balance and vision and natural ability to find the hole. He's not afraid of contact. He doesn't go down with the first tackle either. So another thing that, I don't know, I'm just a little hesitant about is, spent 2 years at Wake Forest and didn't get over 600 yards, and he comes over here to Michigan State and, what do you have, 1,600 yards?
Yeah, I guess that it could cause for concern, but Wake was probably sharing the rock a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe they didn't know what they had in them all
true,
the way.
that too. I mean, and it kind of makes me wonder if
Wake's got guys like Newman going to Georgia, him going to Michigan State. I mean, Wake.
Could be a product of offense too. I mean,
They've got a pretty good
it
offense
could
going
be.
on down there. I put on here J.K. Dobbins, Ingram, poor man Chubb.
yeah.
Just tough guy, like you're saying.
He is.
6 yards carry, man. I mean, dude, that's savage. 6 yards carry.
Yeah, it is.
Like we said, transfer from Wake, had 1,600 yards, good vision, like you said, loved his balance, very good at finding a crease anywhere.
Man.
Anywhere he is, he can just cut and boom and go. So very tough runner. He's another one cut to me that just cuts and goes. He doesn't really look to try to dance, in my opinion. He carried Michigan State, if you ask me.
Oh, he did.
Michigan State had a great year, but I mean, he carried him. He changed some games for him. As far as north-south, that's why I compared him to guys like Ingram and Chubb and all them. The reason why Chubb is because Chubb isn't known for a bunch of receiving.
No,
in
not
Cleveland,
really.
and this was the knock on him was that he had 13 catches and then 9 the year before. That's not a lot. I mean,
No,
you know,
it's
most
not.
guys are catching 25 even, just as, you know, and then, you know, there's two types of running backs. There's running backs that are, that can catch the ball, and then running backs that are pass catchers, that are real weapons.
Yeah.
You know, he's another one of them. He can catch the ball, but he isn't, him just like, I don't think he's a real weapon like the other two we've mentioned.
No, I don't think he is either.
No, he's going to end up being specifically right more along the lines of a Derrick Henry type.
Mm-hmm. He's
Where
another
just-
zone runner too,
Yes.
though. Another zone runner, so he fits in those teams
Yes,
as
he
well.
does.
And there's more. There's other teams, like I said, that more than the percentage. They're just ones that I mentioned and wanted to circle because they were in the higher, basically almost 75% or above of all
Yeah,
their
he's
runs
another.
come out of that.
Yeah,
so.
Kenneth Walker's another. He's going to be late second, early third. He's going to go to a team that has the little shifty outside back, but lacks the up in between the tackles type back. Kenneth Walker's going to fit in great somewhere like that.
Yeah, I think he'll probably be a 2 somewhere right away.
Yeah.
Right away as a 2, and maybe a 1 by the end of the year if you know, because you know how hard it is to finish a year at running back in the NFL. It's tough.
Yeah.
You got Dalvin Cook, so.
Yeah. And then we'll go right to Kyron Williams. That's my guy. Speaking of pass catching, like I said, just fantastic. He's 5'9", 210, just about an inch shorter than Walker, but pretty much the same guy. Super shifty, fantastic footwork. I mean, I remember when he came out, I told my dad, you know, we're big into the recruiting and stuff, and I said, man, Dad, I saw him just doing some videos of him with his footwork. I said, this dude has got crazy bounce. But I think it's safe to say I think he's the best pass catcher as a running back in the draft. I'm going to go with that. His stiff arm is ridiculous. You know, his stop and go, the combo and the stiff arm on the runs to the outside, it allows him because he doesn't really have top end speed, but he's so savvy at how he gets there. He's really well and so balanced and so strong. Underrated strength, I think, is where I get from him. You know, he's pushing guys off like you think he's 230 or something, 240.
I mean,
he's so strong.
He's listed at 199, not 210.
Yeah, well, here it said 200 to 210. Just said give or take on whether, you know what I'm saying, whether it's Thanksgiving meal week or, or whether, you know, or sometimes they say at the beginning of the year, you know, you're a little heavier for football. Or not they say, if anybody knows it's played football, you're a little heavier. By the end of the year, you usually lose a little weight through the year, you know, the grind and all that. It's tough to hold that and still be the same. You know, he could be faster, you know, but that's the knock on him to me is just, you know, his 40 time is going to be very good too. I still think it's 4.5s. I don't think he's a blazer like that at all. If he does, man, it would be fantastic because I really enjoyed watching him. I wanted him to come back again,
Right.
But he graduated. I can't get mad. Blitz pickup, guys. I think he's still the best out of any of the running backs there too. I mean, he has violent looking blitz pickups. I'd argue he's the best there. I think he's one of the sleeper picks in the whole draft, and I know I'm biased to an extent, but man, you'd be hard pressed to find somebody else that's going to fall probably in the 3rd or 4th round that could come in right away and take like 30-40% production and produce. Dude can produce because you can trust him if he has to block. You can trust him if he has to catch. He can take a handoff and still be able to bounce it outside with the savviness. You know I'm going to stick up for my dude here. So maybe you guys have a little bit more to say about it, but I'm telling you, man, his bounce and I couldn't be more happy to have him.
I see him as, like you said, he's the only pass catching running back in this draft. I mean, he had 35 catches in 2020 and 42 last year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he is the pass catching running back, and he's more of your 3 down back, I feel.
Yeah.
He's patient. He's got smooth footwork. You know, the one knock that people were saying on him, he's a little indecisive, and sometimes he's hesitant at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I could see that.
And I feel if he can work on that, then he'll progress in his NFL career.
My dad will love that, the whole, but you didn't hear that though, and that's why I'll say, people might say that, but I've already heard my dad yell at Logan Diggs, the new running back for Notre Dame next year. That's possibly, and just in the bowl game, more than I heard him yell at Kyron in 2 years about just stopping and going and getting upfield. Now Kyron did, but Kyron was very timely. And the difference maybe between Kyron and Diggs, I think, and Diggs needs to get stronger. Kyron, even though he would wait it out at the line of scrimmage, he was still able to run through that first next initial guy to pick up the 3 or the 4. Diggs wasn't able to do that in the bowl game. He got kind of trapped behind a few things. Kyron always seemed like a magician to be able to get out of it. What did you have on him, Dave?
Got good lateral quickness, great footwork.
Yeah, I agree.
Can make a good inside or outside runner, especially with him being smaller.
For sure.
Shifty runner.
Yeah.
I
had that.
Surprisingly powerful for a little guy.
That's what I'm saying. Just crazy strength.
He's creative and patient, but that also leads to kind of being indecisive and hesitant at the same time. That can be a pro and a con.
Yeah.
His size could hurt him, but what I could see out of him is not just being a running back, but being like a slot receiver.
He's took some for us.
I mean, he's got the hands and the shiftiness to do so.
He took some. I was at the Purdue Notre Dame game, one of them this year, where he took a slant to the house for like 70 yards.
He won't move
lined
piles.
out. He won't what?
Move piles.
No, I don't think he's really that. But he is a guy that'll find a crease though, he'll get that yard for you because he's tough enough.
I was reading a draft profile, and it said that he doesn't always read blocks behind pulling guards, but I can't find any film of him running behind a pulling guard a lot. Because when you try to find these highlights or stuff like that, you only see the good stuff. You don't see a lot of bad stuff. I'd like to find a game where he does some pulling guard stuff to see more of his indecisiveness behind a pulling guard.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what that means. Like, is he just not seeing where the seal is? Or is he not seeing where that hole is from the pulling guard? Or is he outrunning the pulling guard? Or
who's to compare him to? Who's a good pass catching back in the league? That can.
I think he's like an Austin Eckler.
Yeah.
Do you think that? Like a better version or something? Maybe
I don't know if he's necessarily better, but I'm not going to say he's worse.
Yeah.
I think he's basically Austin Eckler.
Yeah.
Austin Eckler came out of nowhere. He was backing up Melvin Gordon for 2 or 3 years before the Gordon stuff went down, and that guy came out of nowhere.
Yeah, and he can do a little bit of everything
maybe a poor man's
too.
Dalvin Cook, because Dalvin Cook don't shy away from contact, and he catches the ball out of the backfield.
Yeah. We'll see before... Yeah, I'd call him poor man's as of now until I see that 40. If I know that 40's up there with Dalvin, then I'm not going to call it a poor man's anymore.
Right.
But I think Austin
it'd
Eckler's
switch right
probably
back.
your bar right now for him.
Yeah.
And if he goes above it or below it, then you'll find out.
I think there's definitely a lot of teams, the way the pass heavy is, that would like him in their 2 or 3 deep.
Yeah.
Just to be back
He
there
would
as a
be a
luxury.
solid fit with a San Francisco, where you compare him with somebody, or a Tennessee, where you compare him with Derrick Henry, and he comes in as your pass catcher.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
Cleveland Browns.
If they're not going to bring back Kareem.
Kareem's still under contract.
You got one more, don't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buffalo.
Oof.
Man.
Behind Nick Singletary.
I don't want that to happen.
No.
I'm just saying.
No, really.
It's bad news for us, bro.
It's bad news if he goes to a place like the Chiefs.
Yeah, but they already got... Well, I guess, yeah.
A lot of these teams are just recycling.
Whew.
Man.
Yeah, it's scary there.
Real scary.
Because most teams in the league now are running 2 backs.
Yeah,
Anyways.
they are.
Minnesota's got Madison behind Cook. It's not like Madison's a slouch.
Yeah, Green Bay's got Jones and Dillon.
They've all got solid second.
I mean, we got P. Ryan, and then, you know what I mean? And you got Chris Evans.
He fit really well in Cincinnati.
I know. I would love that.
I would not love that.
I would love that.
Ryan's
I just don't see us picking like a 3rd rounder or something for him, but man, a 4th maybe? If he was still floating there, that'd be
I just
awesome.
think this is a really bad running back draft as opposed to past years. There's not anybody that's I don't think any
where's it good?
Surefire second.
Where's it good then?
Yeah, but
and no quarterbacks. I mean, there's a lot of them.
You had Jonathan Taylor, 2 years ago?
I just think it's a lot of question marks.
It's always question marks with running backs.
Well, I'm talking about
and this isn't really a good draft for anything.
Yeah,
it's really not.
It's maybe really like, hey, let's roll the dice and maybe this and maybe that. I don't think there's nothing that make you feel secure and definitive.
I'm not sold on any of these quarterbacks.
Me neither. And I have to correct ourselves. We talked about Willis last week. Auburn transfer, played wide receiver from there. and dude ran a 4.37. So we'll just put that on note that, yeah, dude is maybe more electric than what I thought. I knew he was a good runner, but man, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe he's your lightning in a bottle if you can get a passer out of him, but
even if you can't get a passer out of him, you've got to get
RPO for a few years, baby. What about the NBA, guys? We'll shift over that before we get out of here. The NBA and MLB. NBA Lakers 25-28 with only 29 left.
They're gonna make the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's what these guys are geared up for. They're old. You've got LeBron. You got Westbrook, who can't seem to not throw a turnover. You got AD, who needs the rest. Melo needs the rest. I think he's averaging like 13 or something like that off the bench for them. Like,
yeah.
He's producing. Like, these guys are going to come into the playoffs and try to take a tear. Like, there's going to be a month where LeBron doesn't play that much, trying to rest up for the playoffs, so he can hit that playoff mode and just go.
Bron willing to leave to play with Bronny. That was somebody dropped that this morning. So Lakers, you got about 2 years left, and it's a wrap. Then he's going to go dip to go play with Bronny, and he basically said anywhere. I know it's just leaked, but this has kind of been common knowledge as it is. He's already made this be known back in the day.
What else does he have to prove if he just wants to play with his son?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So if his son gets drafted by the Cavs, LeBron's coming back to play for the Cavs.
Nah, people are
think the Cavs will draft him.
People are gonna reach for Bronny now to try to get Bron, so that way they can lock up the Bron for a year or two. It's ticket sales crazy.
Even if you're a bad team, that's butts in your seats to watch.
Yeah, I already know.
Bronny on the floor at the same time.
Well, you get Bronny, and then you just go sign one other superstar. They're still a team right there. They're still going to be good. They're not going to be trash. I can tell you that. Yeah, Bronny will go from playing 15 coming off the bench or something minutes a game. Excuse me. You'll still have Bron getting high 28, low 30s in the games.
It's not like Bronny's a slouch either. I mean, he's
I think he's going to be a defender for sure. We'll see how much more he can bring to the offensive side.
He can still grow another 3 or 4 inches before
that would get scary.
Looks like the Pelicans might finally be on top, huh?
Why you say that?
Just sitting there at the 11th, I heard, in the Western Conference.
Draft Bronny.
Draft Bronny, get Zion and all them, yeah. I saw Phoenix.
LeBron's going to trade Ingram again because he just doesn't like him.
Phoenix 41-10 coming up on the All-Star break. Whew.
This happens, and I'm not sold on them. They didn't get it done last year.
I get it, but man, they got the PG, they got a shooting guard, they got a big, they got a 3-and-D. They do got what it takes.
They had it all last year, and they lost to Giannis.
That was a good thing, man. They might not be able to got it done, but it went down to the end.
Yeah, but aren't they still the Western Conference champion?
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah, but now you've got to deal with the boys again and Golden State. And it's not like they don't have slouches now. They've got Andrew Wiggins, who's playing at an all-star level that I'm still not sold on. And you got Wiseman, who's a solid bid. That team is scary.
Clay hit 7 threes last night.
That team is
7?
Scary.
7 threes last night.
So he didn't miss it. He hasn't lost a step in, has he?
I mean, not as he's going to continue playing. He's going to start feeling.
Curry's playing at a
probably 2.5 level. Yeah.
Like, you can't.
Stud. Curry's just always going to be.
He went through a slump when he was trying to hit that
savage.
And they still got Draymond, so I mean,
Well, who would you pick like right now? Let's just throw it out there. Who's my
NBA champion?
Yeah, who's your just NBA finals? Like there's so many. The East is so wide open. The
East is terrible.
I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to go.
It's not going to be Brooklyn. I'll tell you that much.
I'm going to tell you this. You don't think so?
Nope. Because Kyrie can only play half the playoff games. If they could have all 3 guys for all the games in the series, I would pick them. But without Kyrie there for half of those games, like they're gonna have to do a lot of sweeping or a lot of 5-game series just so they.
Chicago Bulls up there,
They're scary good, but I don't think they're a championship team. They're gonna make some noise in the playoffs. It's gonna end up being Milwaukee again.
You think?
Yeah, because there's nobody that can stop Giannis.
Yeah.
He's just he'll run through the playoffs. He can live through the season. Once he hits playoffs, who's there to stop him?
He said that, man. I think. Let me see. Who did I have on this? If
you want me to be biased,
I had Philadelphia.
If you want me to be biased,
yeah, but I think that's who I have.
He's playing like a man possessed.
I got Philly versus Golden State.
That's a solid pick.
That's what I would pick right now. Philly
The only
versus
thing
Golden
that scares me
State.
with Philly is that there's nobody to stop Giannis.
Well, they got to make a trade right now for me to really solidify that Philly all the way and not switch up on
Ben
that.
Simmons to stop being a crybaby and just come back and play.
They need something, but they definitely
How
going to
many
need
6'10"
something.
guys do you know that can line up against a 6'2"
Defensively, yeah, just squash whatever you got. Just come back. Just defensively, you're still a beast, bro. You're still a good ball handler. You try to improve on your shot the best you can.
I was
1 year
talking
could
to
change everything.
I was talking to a friend the other day about that play that everybody talks about, where him passing it to Thibault instead of dunking the ball.
Yeah,
It was the right play.
Yeah.
Thibault was wide open. It's not his fault that Thibault drove to dunk the ball. It was a wide open jumper.
that and it's not that big a deal. It's one play. It's only a big deal if you let things like that get in your head. It's one play.
I think the biggest thing with Ben Simmons is that when Joel Embiid was going through his stuff, Ben Simmons stood up for Embiid. When Ben Simmons went through this crap, Embiid threw him under the bus.
Because Embiid's kind of sick of it. He wants him to put up or shut up.
Yeah, but if
Now-
you're going to be cohesive
I
superstars
know.
and your boy's backing
It's
you up,
hurting
why
him.
aren't you going to back your boy?
Well, it's hurting Embiid now. Now this is what he gets. This is the karma of it. If you can't land somebody that's solid for Simmons now, then you're not getting the help that you need and that was necessary. I cannot believe they've had all these people come through Philly and they just have not been able to put it together.
I can't
Trust
believe they
the
haven't taken
process.
one of these trades.
Trust the process, my ass. Bro, Embiid is a once generation type player. You know it.
Yeah, they
you
gotta
know
trade
it.
Simmons.
He's rare. He's different. You got it, dude.
He's
You
a once in a
haven't
generation
landed
thing.
anything with all that. Everything back to what was his name? Fultz.
Fultz, who's actually doing decent where he was.
Yeah, I get it, decent, but it's like, man, you had up-teen
Yeah,
opportunities
was
to
they
land
Noel?
to land a superstar, and if you did in Simmons, then you should have traded him off. Then, if you had the Fields, then you should have knew already.
I think the biggest news with him is going to end up coming in the off season
Yeah.
because the GM for the Sixers was the GM for the Rockets when James Harden was there, and there's news that James Harden is getting pissed off in New Jersey or Brooklyn because Kyrie's not playing every time. So I could see them trading Simmons for Harden in the offseason.
I said that the last few pods. I don't know, you weren't on one of them, and I said, is that smoke real? I don't think so.
I mean, it could be because James Harden did whatever he wanted
It's
to.
too big to flip-flop. Why would you flip-flop that with each other?
Why wouldn't you?
Man.
Brooklyn gets a young star that can go. That
The one thing that Brooklyn gets in this is a guy that they can put on Giannis without having to put Durant on him. That's where you win with that trade. You can get enough
it also
offense.
makes Philly that much better.
You can get enough offense from Kyrie and Durant, and it kind of wins for both. It really does. The more you really break it down and kind of think about it, it can be a win for both, but it's only going to be a win for one, though.
Okay, but here's my question: if Harden's throwing a fit about Kyrie, why are you trading Harden?
I think that's smoke, by the way.
When Kyrie can only play, when
this is
Kyrie
just
can't even play
random.
home games in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
If you were to trade Kyrie can play every game in
Nobody's
Philly.
going to take him because of that.
Yeah, but he can play in Brooklyn as a visitor. He just can't play.
Nobody is going to take him unless that he's at a spot where he can play every game everywhere, and he's still not going to be able to play
I think the
certain
thing with
games
Kyrie
in the
is-
playoff. In the playoffs, what do you get to the playoffs and then you got to go and play New Jersey, play Brooklyn in Brooklyn, and Kyrie? Oh, he just can't play now.
No,
for the
as
games.
a visitor, he can.
Yeah, if he plays for a different.
You
team.
want to trade for that? I'm not trading for a part-time job.
No, he
No,
wouldn't.
he's saying if he got traded to say Cleveland, where he could play his home games in Cleveland, he could go as a visitor and play in Brooklyn because he's not from there.
Yes.
He doesn't live in the city, so he can play there.
Oh.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
He has
So
to
you
live
trade
by those rules
Kyrie.
because he's a member of the state.
Well, then why isn't
I
this
have no
been
idea.
happening?
This is so
Yes.
weird.
Why isn't this been happening? Why wouldn't you free Kyrie?
Exactly. That's why.
Let
That's
him
why
go
I was
be
getting. Why
himself,
would you
like-
not? Yeah, because
Oh,
Brooklyn,
you
New
put
York.
Kyrie in the Sixers, bro. They might win it for real. You just gave Kyrie the. Whew, you give him a hungry Embiid.
Yeah, because Philly don't have that mandate.
Embiid don't need the ball like that. Kyrie does.
I'm telling you, the most fun I'm having watching basketball
It'd be fun to
right
watch.
now is watching. I got a couple of teams. Memphis, watching
Dude.
Ja Morant is
Whew.
ridiculous. But
It's savage.
watching Charlotte is just watching fun basketball.
Yeah, I like it.
LaMelo looks like a kid playing in the park.
I like watching LaMelo. Yeah, because those instincts are just crazy. He says such a good basketball IQ and the feel and the way he moves.
They had him on video arguing with a ref, but like joking with a ref, calling him a liar over and over again, just acting like a kid out there.
Yeah,
like he's just out there having fun.
Mm-hmm. That's the key for him. Just keep doing that, keep working.
But it gets everybody on their team to buy into what he's doing.
If they pair him with the Savage, it's going to get scary.
Because, I mean, you've got Oubre over there now that played with LA and hated playing with LeBron, and he's over there some nights, he's hit like 11 or 9 threes the other night or something a couple weeks ago. He's just out there playing ball.
I'm just waiting.
Bridges is doing amazing for them right now.
I'm just waiting for James versus Ball. Lonzo to Charlotte or whatever to Chicago, Melo to Chicago. I'm just waiting for Ball versus James versus James here in a few years.
Yeah.
Just the Ball versus James.
And then you just throw in LiAngelo because I feel like he just got left behind. That guy's getting blackballed. That guy's a shooter.
Isn't that the one that got in trouble over in China or something with the theft or something like that? Wasn't that the middle brother that was playing for the Chinese team or something that got in trouble and got sent back to the United States?
He's the older one.
Yeah, I could see that.
I thought Lonzo was the oldest.
No, Lonzo's oldest. The other one's LiAngelo's in the middle.
LiAngelo's
Melo's the young
shooter.
one. Yeah, but he's very undersized.
I mean, yeah, what is he, 6'6"?
We'll keep up with some NBA. We're going to start getting into some NCAA basketball, too, as it's getting closer now, starting to get bubble. We'll talk a little bit of that on the next show.
Some great names in college basketball.
We can finish off with a little bit of MLB Jeremy's got for us.
Really, there ain't a whole lot.
I know.
As of yesterday, so I guess the MLB told the Players Association that it will not make a counteroffer. This was when they just told them 2 days prior that they would make a counteroffer.
Mm-hmm.
MLB has requested immediate assistance of a federal mediator.
That's what I have down right here.
So
both sides got to agree that once that gets done, then we can start maybe making some progress. I hope they do. I hope this gets done.
I really do too.
It's getting scary. Thanks, guys, for watching another episode of Midwest Mouthful. We'll see you soon. Take care.
See you.
Peace.
Peace.